Dagda agus tá fáilte is mis an Scéalaí Beag. Hello and you're welcome. I'm the little storyteller. So I'm coming to you today with another Patreon Insider video. So it's my attempts to get more comfortable doing these video kind of snippets, and to train myself to be on camera to kind of talk articulately and succinctly, because most of my conversations tend to be long-winded and very detailed. So I'm trying to practice, in a safe space with you, my patrons, to just pop on, do a quick video, give you a bit of information, and try and make myself more comfortable with this experience. So thank you very much for your support and providing this kind of safe place where I know I have your backing, and you're going to look forward to getting these kind of things. Um, so the reason why I'm giving you a quick insider is for the most recent release, which came out to, I think it's the Close Club members, which is the audio for the stories I've been writing for these few years. The most recent audio release is known as the Fomorian Supper. Um, this story is one that I wrote, and it's based from the Irish saga at a particular moment in the history, the ancient mythology and history, known as the Cath Mancura, which is the Battle of Mancura. But we're dealing with the second Battle of Mancura. So at this point, the two of them have arrived into Ireland. They have fought for their position and established themselves as the dominant tribe within the landscape against the Fir Bullock. Um, but things don't stay very positive for them. They establish themselves, it's all going well. They have Uchid Bress, just known as Bress the Beautiful, as a half Fomorian king that they have chosen, which would, to their mind, hopefully give some kind of balance with the Fomorian oppressors outside of Ireland. Unfortunately, it doesn't go that way, and it does lead to the deposing of Bress as their king and the reinstating of Nuada, their original king. Bress, unfortunately, is not taking it lying down or taking right justice properly, really, because he deserved the decision he got. But he goes to his Fomorian ancestry, he goes to his other bloodline, and he calls upon them to make war upon the Tuatha Danann. So in the stories, they know they're going to come to war. This is where we find the ascendancy of Lu. So Lu comes into the Tuatha Danann and is named their king because prophecy said that he will be there to face off against his grandfather, which is Balor, the Baelai, from the Fomorians, the Fomorian warlord. So prophecy is very steeped in what's going on right now. But on the run up to that, we get the story where the two of them are making ready. They're getting their structures into place. They're getting everything sorted and arranged. We have a fantastic segment of the stories where Nuada calls together like some selected people, and he's like, "Okay, well, what are you going to bring to the fight? What are you going to bring to the table?" And it actually happens twice. It happens with Nuada and it happens with Lu, where they all these like cupbearers and druids and sorcerers and everyone kind of declares what they're going to bring to aid the two of the Danann in their battle against the Fomorians. And it's here that we find the Dag to kind of step up and say, "Listen, lads, every let me get the wording right. Um, every power you have boasted, I will wield unto myself." So essentially, he says that everyone has offered all of these different abilities. He says, "Okay, lads, listen, I'll just do it all. Everything you've said, I'll take care of." So everyone kind of accepts that that's just going to happen. Dagda says it's going to happen. It's just going to happen. But there's more interaction for our Dagda. On the run up to the battle, he goes to seek information from his wedded partner, and we have that interaction. Another story I wrote, The Couples Forward, is my iteration of that, my version of that. But it deals with his interaction with the Morrigan, and she gives him insight as to where the Fomorians are going to arrive, where they're going to arrive in the landscape. And at that point, Dagda then takes it upon himself to go and seek more information, to seek what more he can do for his tribe. And it says that he goes into the Fomorian war camp to try and arrange hospitality. And it's the information that we have from the original sagas is a small paragraph. Like, it gives a bit of an insight into his arrival, how they treat him, what food they give, and then his departure from that, and then further interactions that he has with the daughter of Indech, who isn't named, unfortunately. She's not given the justice of her own name in the sagas. She's just used as this pawn piece in regards to Indech's attempt to get war for his people. um so exploring into that story, we have our description of the Dagda, which is the large kind of bellied kind of guy that we see in a lot of circumstances, and what has become the expected standard for him, his shape, but he's it's non-standard. Like what he goes through, for me, reading through those stories, going in, teasing it all out, trying to break down the idea of hospitality and the importance of that role, and how someone would try and prevent that. Like, he's a deity. He's not a deity of war. He's capable of it, but he's not the kind of person to go out and seek a war. If it comes to the battle conflict, in Moitura Part 1, it actually says that when the Dagda took the battlefield, he cleaved the way through the Republic rank with room for 150 warriors to follow him. So it's not like he's not there for that. And in the war councils, he says everything that he's going to bring forward to help his people. But this other side of it, like, if it is just going to be straight out war, why would he go? Why would he go into this camp of his enemies? Why would he put himself out there? Why would he assume the risk of that? And it's that kind of question, the why, that I always find is important in my work. And it's trying to chase that out and kind of get a better understanding. And my relationship with the Dagda has grown through that. Because it's that exploration of why, what would make someone do that. Um, and a lot of the descriptions that we have of Dagda come from this segment. He's described as having clothes that barely fit him, like his arse hanging out of his shirt. These horsehair like boots, pretty much wrappings around his feet with the hair on the outside. And he's described as this slovenly, oafish fool of a character. But out of context, that is what has been taken as the Dagda's description. But in context, it's disguise. It's someone who's putting on, this appearance so that he can move within his enemies, move within the war camps of his enemies, and be misunderstood or be underestimated. um, so the Fomorian Supper is the audio that has been released. The written version is there as well, back in the archives, if anyone is interested or hasn't read that story as yet. I would say that the exploration of this led to a lot of challenging experiences for me, because it dealt with some rather non-consensual interactions. We have the Dagda who, has to consume this vast amount of porridge. He's then, put upon and physically beaten by the daughter of Indek, and then forced to carry her on his back. So there's a whole lot of stuff that really happens, and my expression of that in the story, I hope, comes across in the right way. And I do hope you enjoy it. So thank you very much for this inside look and for joining me for this, the Patreon Insider. Um, wasn't exactly short, was it? But again, thank you for supporting me in my work, for being here with me in Patreon, and allowing me to do what I do to bring these stories forward. I really, really appreciate it. And again, for making this safe for me to be able to pop on and, you know, build my confidence in regards to these experiences. Thank you very much. Gurav Mila Mahagas. Agus Slangafo. Goodbye for now.